Shortly after that, I went over to be election integrity counsel for Donald Trump. When that transition happened, since that transition has happened, I can tell you I've had the U.S. Marshals show up at my house, the FBI, the Department of Justice has interrogated me, and I've been investigated by bars. I've had several independent investigations as well as been subpoenaed in I want to say 4 civil cases. See how this is going to play out. I'm working hard to fight against it, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
Not guilty pleas from all 11 people indicted in Arizona's fake electors case. We've been following this story since it broke. A group of Republicans accused of trying to flip our state's electoral votes in an effort to re-elect then President Donald Trump. Well, today that group was back together again, this time one by one by one in the courtroom.
Get out of my face.
Back off.
Just like you, I'm in a public place.
You're in a public place assaulting my client. Get out of the way.
Out of my face.
Talking about assault.
Tree.
You don't want to be touched. Don't touch me.
Back up if you want a shot. You can. I'm letting everybody take a shot. Back up. Get out of my face.
Christina, how do you think this was up on the open up? How do you think this was legitimate?
I'm sorry. I'm wearing a skirt. I'd appreciate it if you'd raise your camera.
Christina Bobb is the latest Trump lawyer to suffer the consequences of trying to make Trump happy. She recently had her mugshot taken in Arizona and tried to mimic Trump's own Georgia mugshot. Maybe she should care more about staying out of prison than emulating the 91-count indicted former president. The fact is, she was indicted by Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays along with 17 others, including Rudy Giuliani, for her involvement in the fake elector scheme there. She evidently played a major role in the scheme and frequently communicated with the fake Arizona audit, quote, leaders and acted as a go-between with the Wisconsin's own fake elector scheme.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani.
Former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani among a group of 11 all arraigned Tuesday in the Arizona fake elector scheme.
I do consider this indictment a complete embarrassment to the American legal system, but I've shown no tendency not to comply.
Giuliani, who phoned in for his roughly 18-minute-long appearance, was issued a $10,000 secured bond and ordered to show up in person for booking in Arizona within 30 days.
Quite frankly, mocking the justice system in Arizona, given his latest Twitter post and then his lie about communicating with our office, we decided to be appropriate to ask for some kind of release condition to ensure his appearance in Arizona.
Other notable names include former Arizona GOP Chair Kelly Ward. She is accused of organizing the vote of the fake electors and then urging then Vice President Mike Pence to accept them as the state's true electors.
She went there because I was still recovering, and she gathered all the original evidence. And it is, I mean, I've tried many, many cases as a prosecutor. I've never lost a case. And I've never seen more evidence. And then she stayed with it for 2 years afterwards and talk about it. So she's very dangerous to them. She's very dangerous to them because she's also very competent and they're very afraid.
But as any good MAGA does, she refuses to take a shred of responsibility and plays the victim. She says the timing of the indictment, despite the fact that it is just one of 18, she's only one of 18 indicted, it is really about the fact that she just got a job.
I went over to be election integrity counsel for Donald Trump. When that transition happened, since that transition has happened, I can tell you I've had the U.S. Marshals show up at my house, the FBI, the Department of Justice has interrogated me.
Never mind the fact that the job that she just got is Senior Counsel for Election Integrity at the RNC. It would be funny if it wasn't so scary. Christina Bobb, in her press tour of trying to make herself the victim, is also saying that the FBI was trying to assassinate Donald Trump. Yes, this is the new conspiracy theory that hers and Marjorie Taylor Greene and others are putting out there.
Former President Trump calling out President Biden after learning that his administration authorized the use of deadly force during the FBI's 2022 raid on Mar-a-Lago during the classified documents probe. According to this filing, the DOJ and the FBI agents plan to bring standard issue weapons, ammunition, handcuffs, and medium and large sized bolt cutters. They were also instructed to wear unmarked polo or collared shirts and to, quote, keep law enforcement equipment concealed. Trump posted on Truth Social this: Crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office, 25th Amendment, writes President Trump. The FBI says this is normal, though. In a statement, the FBI said this: the FBI followed standard protocol in this search, as we do for all search warrants, which includes a standard policy statement limiting the use of deadly force. No one ordered additional steps to be taken, and there was no departure from the norm in the matter. Jonathan, I got to get your take on this as a prosecutor. Deadly force. Does that mean that Joe Biden was authorizing the FBI to if it came to that and he resisted arrest, it would be okay to kill Donald Trump?
That's what it seems, and I think what's troubling.
What does deadly force mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it would mean. If you were in danger, you can use deadly force. What I find really surprising is the FBI saying they're using standard procedure. Well, this is a former president of the United States under Secret Service protection. Maybe you shouldn't use standard procedure. Maybe you go, if it was even necessary to get a warrant, you go there and you execute the warrant in the lightest way possible.
And the reason why is because when the FBI was trying to execute the search warrant in Mar-a-Lago, because Donald Trump refused to hand over the classified documents, part of the search warrant allows them to use deadly force if they are confronted with force. Now, this is a standard part of the search warrant. The FBI has actually come out and had to say it is a standard part of the search warrant because of all these crazy conspiracy theories.
I got most of us got a solicitation email this morning from the former president of the United States saying that the Justice Department had authorization to kill him during the Mar-a-Lago raid. First, can you give us some clarification on that particular point that he's making and whether or not deadly force is authorized in other interventions, including the search of Mr. Biden's residence and office? And the second question is...
Can I do one at a time? Okay. On that one, that allegation is false, and it is extremely dangerous. The document that is being referred to in the allegation is the Justice Department standard policy limiting the use of force. As the FBI advises, it is part of the standard operations plan for searches. And in fact, it was even used in the consensual search of President Biden's home.
She knows as a lawyer, she knows better, but in Trump world, a lawyer is willing to say and do anything to defend Donald Trump. Now, the problem is she was there, and the reason why she was there is because if you remember, she was the one that signed the affidavit that said that Donald Trump had turned over all of the evidence, quote, to her best knowledge. Well, she didn't actually do any diligence to make sure all the documents had been handed over, so she's already in trouble for that. If you remember, the reason why she signed that is because Trump attorney Evan Corcoran knew most likely Trump had not handed all of the evidence because he had told them to, quote, pluck anything out that looked bad. So instead of him signing the document, he handed it to Christina Bobb signing the document. And like a good Trump soldier, she signed it despite the fact that she has a law degree and she should have been able to review it and know whether or not it was true or not. So she's there the day of the FBI search warrant because they didn't do what they were supposed to do and turn everything over. And now she's claiming that somehow her life was threatened and that there was some sort of assassination attempt, despite the fact that the FBI made sure that Trump wasn't even there the day that they executed the search warrant. So I wonder if all these MAGA Republicans are actually going to care now about the no-knock warrants. You mean like the real search warrants that end up killing people because they can just burst in with deadly force and not even knock ahead of time, even if that search warrant contains information that turns out to be false and people die? Why do I think? Probably not.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.